Okay. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Wednesday yoga. So we'll be doing this every week on a Wednesday at 10:30 in this group. So if you've not met me before, obviously I'm Ashleigh. I teach yoga at Lift Off on a Saturday at 3 till 4 p.m. usually, but obviously because of lockdown, we're doing it from my yoga room. So today we are going to be working with the side body, the obliques. We're going to be working with some twists, side stretches. So these areas can get really tight because we don't tend to stretch them out all that often. So some of the postures might feel quite intense, but they're just great ways to work into that area. And also secondary, we're going to be working into the groin a little bit. So groin and side body, it's kind of the vibe we're going for. So we will be doing twists. So it was a question I got in the comments the other day. So if you are pregnant, this might not be a class for you because I tend to tell people to avoid deep twists. If you're still going to give it a go, just avoid twisting so deep and always check with your doctor. So if you have any injuries or conditions you're working with, you do need to check with a doctor before you do this video. If anything hurts, don't do it. You are your own best teacher. I can't see you, so you have to use your common sense as you're moving through, especially if you suffer from like maybe a sore or tight back. Some of these twists, you might just want to approach them quite gently and then work your way up. I always say, as a rule of thumb, it's better to start more gently and then see if you can push a bit further than throwing the body into the most intense version of the posture and then regretting it. So I think that's all I have to say. Now, you don't need any props today. You might want to have a block or a pillow handy because we will be doing a few seated postures. If your hips are tight, sometimes it helps to sit on a block just to raise the hips up. It can make that seated position a bit more comfortable. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. All right, side stretches, twists, safety done, safety first. So I'm walking over to my mat. Hopefully you can hear me. If there's any technical problems, because my internet's been a little bit funny, we're just gonna have to roll with it. So we're gonna start on the back today. So if you wanna just make your way down into a comfortable lying position. Now you can bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall out sideways if you wanna work into the hips. And if this isn't comfortable, feel free to bend the knees, or you can just have the legs straight. So basically we're finding a position that you can be still in for a few minutes. The hands can either rest on the belly. If the feet are together and the knees are falling out wide, you can rest the hands on the inner thighs, or you just place the hands either side of the body, palms up. So you've got a lot of options here. Whatever is most comfortable for you. We're going to be holding this just for a minute or so. So we start every yoga class like this. We bring the attention into the room or the garden if you're doing this outside. We start to bring the attention to the breath. So we're breathing deeply through the nose, trying to make the inhales and exhales equal in length. So the exhales always tend to be a bit quicker, so pay special attention to those. And you're trying to find a steady rhythm that is sustainable for you. So you never want to feel like you're running out of breath. And as well as bringing the attention to the breath, we want to start to bring the attention to the sensations in the body. So noticing how you feel, noticing if any areas feel a little bit tight. And just noticing the general mood as well. So being stuck at home can present a lot of challenges. The mind can get a little bit anxious, a little bit quick. So seeing if we can direct the attention away from the sort of crazy thoughts and bring it back to the breath and the sensations in the body. That's what we're going for. This is very comfortable. Maybe I'll do a class one day where we can just stay here for an hour. But I think if I stay here any longer, I might fall asleep. So if you've got the knees apart, let's gently bring the knees together. And then we're all going to take the legs down the mat, point the toes, arms overhead, and take a big cat stretch here. So maybe the longest stretch you've had all day, so really pointing the toes, lifting the arms and feeling that stretch. Come into the lower back, shoulders, tops of the legs, and then exhale, just hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side, keep the back of the head on the floor, and use the hands around the knees or the shins to make circles. So undoing any tension that may have built up in the lower back. Squeezing the thighs in towards the stomach. And then bring both feet to the floor. So we're working twists, we're working side body, and we are going to start with a couple of gentle line twists. So take your arms out wide, palms down. So you're bringing your arms in a T position. We're going to leave the feet and the knees together. We're going to draw the heels up towards the bum. Inhale here, then as you exhale, very gently just let the knees fall over towards the right. And then you're turning and you're looking over your left shoulder. So this is a very passive posture. We're not engaging any muscles. The only thing we want to make sure is that that left shoulder stays down. So rooting the left shoulder to the mat. It may mean you need to press down through the left palm a bit more. It might mean you need to bring the legs higher up to center. Otherwise, totally relaxed, and there's no effort to keep the knees together if they want to fall apart, and there's no effort to get the knees to hit the floor, so we're not forcing the knees down. So we call these supine twists in yoga, fabulous for your lower back. You may feel a stretch at the top of your left leg, so the left hip. You might feel it in your groin. But today we're hoping to feel something eventually in the side body, so the obliques. Nice, slow, steady breaths. And then inhale, legs back to center, and then on the exhale, just let them fall over towards the left, very lazily. And then turn and look over your right shoulder. So same thing, try and keep that right shoulder down. It might mean pressing down through the right palm a bit stronger. Legs are falling as far as they want to fall, no effort. And then noticing where you feel this posture, lower back, obliques, right hip. And then inhale, bring the knees back to center. So this time you can repeat that posture with the feet down. If you want to deepen the twist, just pick your feet up off the floor a few inches. So the arms are still wide, palms down, the knees are still together, but if you're deepening it, the feet come off the floor. So big inhale here, then as you exhale, legs over to the right. And then turn and look over the left shoulder. A bit more of a tendency for that left shoulder to pick up, so see if you can root it down. And then a slightly deeper twist, especially for the lower back, stretching those muscles out. And then inhale back to center. Last time as you exhale, let those knees fall over towards the left. Turn and look over your right shoulder, not engaging any muscles, nothing too intense. And gravity's doing most of the work for us. Okay, and then inhale back to center. All right, we're going to take another cat stretch, so point both feet down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen, make yourself as long as you possibly can. Hold this stretch. This time we're going to take the right wrist with the left hand, and then as you inhale, just see if you can reach that right arm up anymore. So we're really stretching into that right shoulder. Toes are still pointed. You may realise there's an arch in your lower back. That's absolutely fine. And then we'll change sides. So release and then take the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale. See if you can just pick up out that left shoulder a little bit more. You may feel a deeper stretch in the left side body doing this, which is what we're going for. Okay, then release. And as you inhale, another big cat stretch. So eventually it's like we're squeezing the head with the shoulders, the arms, and then exhale, just hug your knees into your chest and make those circles again. So hands around the knees, back of the head on the floor, and then squeezing the thighs up towards the stomach as you roll. That's a nice way to start. A couple of lion twists, could do those all day. But we need to move on. So bring your feet to the floor. And I lied to you earlier when I said you won't need a prop. You may need a prop if your hamstrings are tight. So you might want to just pop up and grab a towel or grab a yoga strap or something like that. You might not need it, but you might. So what we're going to do is feet hip width apart. We're going to leave the left knee bent. We're going to work into the hamstrings a bit. So we're going to take the back of the right thigh, and then we're going to inhale, raise right leg up towards the ceiling. Now, if you straighten the right leg and your shoulders lift and the back of the head lifts and it feels like you're pulling the arms out the sockets, then you use the towel or the strap, okay? So we want to keep the back of the head down, we want to keep the shoulders down, the chest broad, and then we're really working those right toes back, shooting up through the right heel, trying to get that leg as straight as is doable. And then deep breaths with every exhale, maybe easing the right toes higher above the face. But we want to keep the base of the spine down, and also we don't want to press down too heavy through that right foot. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is there is no need to yank the right leg out of its joint. So just do what you can and keep everything pretty relaxed here. The only effort really is a bit of effort in the right quad to keep that leg straight. Okay, chin tucks in towards chest, so keep the neck nice and long. You might notice a bit of an Elvis leg going on, so if that right leg's shaking, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Alright, and you have a couple of options here. You can have a rest if you need to, obviously, but if you have super bendy hamstrings, and I know a lot of you do, you can move those hands up towards the calf or the foot, but not at the expense of the shoulders lifting. So only move the hands up if you can keep the upper body relaxed. And then holding it here for a few more deep breaths. And then because we are also going to be working with the groin a bit today, we're going to bring that into it. So keep the right leg where it is, keep the hands or the prop around the right leg, and then just straighten the left leg down the mat. So now both legs are straight, both toes pull back. Keep the left toes facing the ceiling. There's a bit of a tendency to let the toes fall out to the side, so don't do that. So an awareness through the whole body, and then really see if you can push down through that left calf. So if your groin's a bit tight, the left calf will lift. It's not a problem, but over time we're working on grounding it. And then we're still using the hands or the strap to maybe ease the right leg back a fraction more. Bet some of you have your right toes in your nose. And then exhale, just release the right leg and give both legs a shake. All right, lovely. Let's change sides. So just bear in mind, one hamstring might be a lot tighter than the other, so you might need to use a prop even if you didn't before. So right leg bent, right foot on the floor, back of the left thigh, hands or whatever you're using, and then inhale, left leg up. So this is my problem hamstring. This one's a lot tighter than my right. So we always have imbalances in the body, and a part of yoga is trying to sort of balance out those imbalances, right? So strength, flexibility, right and left sides. And then remembering our action point, shoulders down, chest broad, chin in, and then right foot just resting on the floor so the base of the spine can stay down. Really working those left toes back, maybe squeeze that left quad a little bit to help straighten the leg. And with every exhale, you might be able to just work the left toes a bit higher above the face if your hamstring's up to it, so no pressure here. Okay, and then you have the option to move the hands up the leg if you choose. You can take the calf, you can take the foot, as long as the shoulders stay down. I think I'm okay here, so I'm going to stay here, but you can do that if you want. Nice slow breath, still keeping the inhales and exhales equal in length. And the final part of this posture is to straighten the right leg down the mat, ground down through the right calf, and then work those right toes back. You probably can't see it, which is a good thing, but my leg is shaking something fierce. Just hold it here for a few more moments, doing really well. And then exhale, release. All right, give your straight legs a shake. We're going to take one last cat stretch. We're going to do something with it as well to start working into the side body. So point both feet down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. Make yourself as long as you can, and then we're going to be moving into a little side stretch here. So just as we move into this, it doesn't mean we're going to roll up onto one side. So we're going to stay on the backs. This is a very small movement. So from this cat stretch, inhale, lift, and then as you exhale, move the feet and move the hands over to the right. So the butt is going to stay on the floor. We are not rolling onto our right side. So the back body is down. So we're making like a banana shape with the body. You can move the feet and the hands over as much as is possible, as long as the left bum cheek stays down. And then feel that lovely stretch in the left side body, but you'll also probably feel a contraction in your right oblique. So a little squeeze there to move the hands and the feet over. And then holding this tension, keep the breath steady. Few more moments here. Okay, and then inhale back to center. Same thing the other side. Exhale, feet and hands are going to move over to the left. Keeping the right butt cheek down. And then feeling that little squeeze. It's not so subtle for me, it might be subtle for you. A little squeeze in the left oblique and that big stretch down the right side body. So we're keeping the toes pointed, keeping the arms lifting. Okay, and then bring it back to center. One last cat stretch, point toes, lift hands. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make those circles again. So we're waking the body up bit by bit, starting quite gently. And then when you're ready, I'm going to pop up to seated. My hair's a mess now. Right, so we're going to do a couple of seated postures, little seated twist and a seated side stretch. So this may be where you want the block if you know your hips are a little bit tight. So we'll start with the twist. So what we are going to do is come to a comfortable cross-leg position. We're going to place the right hand behind the back, so the arm is right up against the spine, and this is going to give the spine some support so we don't lean back. Left hand is going to come just above the right knee. You're going to inhale, lift, make yourself nice and tall, and then exhale, twist, chest opens to the right, and then we're going to look back over that right shoulder. So the left arm is acting as a lever to help us twist. Obviously we're not like yanking the body round, but there's some gentle pressure there to help us rotate. The hips face forward and the chest is opening to the right. So it might feel quite intense, good for your back. Really rolling that right shoulder back as much as possible and seeing if we can sit up nice and tall. So if your hips are tight, you might find yourself wanting to fall backwards, and that is where sitting on a pillow or a block will help. Hard to breathe in the belly here, so moving the breath up into the chest. Right side of the chest specifically. And then exhale, just come back to center. Lovely, let's change sides. Left hand behind the back, arm against the spine to give the back some support. Right hand just above the left knee. Inhale, lift and exhale, twist. Same thing. Rolling that left shoulder back, looking back over left shoulder, and then the right arm is acting as a lever to help you rotate. Noticing how one side feels compared to the other. Sitting up as tall as you possibly can, so not leaning back. And then exhale, come back to center. All right, give your shoulders a little shake. You can have a little shake if you want, sometimes feels quite nice. And now we're going to do a seated side stretch. So this looks like it should be easy. You're going to look at it and you're going to think, Ashleigh, right, I do CrossFit, I don't want to do the seated side stretch. But I tell you what, it's very difficult. So we're going to give it a go together. Now, from this seated position, we're going to see if we can drop the right forearm down to the side of the right hip. Step number one. So it's quite tricky to get that right forearm down. You are going to notice, unless you've got, you know, really sort of stretchy side bodies, the left hip wants to go woof. The left hip wants to pick up as soon as you put that right forearm down. So what I want you to do is put the right forearm down, get your hand in your left hip crease and root your left hip down. We want that left butt cheek to stay grounded. And that's where the effort of the posture comes in. And you may already start to feel this stretch in the left oblique. Now if this isn't happening, you can place your right forearm on a block, or you can just come up onto the right hand and do it like that instead. Right, but if you've got the right forearm down, don't collapse into that shoulder, keep that shoulder strong. You're going to keep that left sit bone rolling down, and then as you inhale, left arm up and over your ear. So not up to the ceiling, up and over your ear. And then you're going to look up towards the ceiling, all right? So seated side stretch. Keep that left hip grounded, keep pressing through the right forearm, and then get that left arm as strong as you can. So no weedy left arms. So we've got left arms with purpose, reaching through those fingertips, hopefully feeling this amazing side stretch starting from your left hip, traveling all the way up that left arm. So keep it here, nice, slow, steady breaths. Few more moments. All right, here's the fun part coming up. Then as you inhale, whoosh, back up to center. Side stretches get me. All right, lovely, let's change sides. So left forearm down, oh, that right hip wants to come up, don't let it. Right hand in that hip crease, root that right hip down. Press into the left forearm to keep that shoulder strong, and then as you inhale, right arm up and over your ear, and you're gently turning the head and looking up towards the ceiling. All right, so keep that right arm really strong, extending through the right fingers. And again, see if you can keep right hip down. Few more moments, steady breaths. Okay, and then inhale, pop yourself back up. Give your body a shake if you want to give it a shake. And then we are going to come into child's pose. So come into all fours. Feet together, knees as wide as your mat. We're going to sink the bum down towards the heels. Get the bum as close to the heels as you possibly can. This is what creates the stretch in the lower back. And then walk those fingertips forward and then lower the forehead down to the floor. Okay, so if you are not able to get the forehead to the floor, it really doesn't matter. You can stay up on forearms, you can stay upright. Just do what your body is telling you to do. And with the knees apart like this, we're working into the hips, the groin. And this is a great posture to come back to if some of the postures later get a bit too much. So this is a resting posture, very passive. And we're just going to work the shoulders a little bit from this position. So from here, we'll start with the right arm, very simply. We're going to thread the right arm underneath the left. And then we're going to lay the right cheek down on the floor and we're going to look left. All right? So the right arm is threaded underneath the left. The hips are still sinking down to the bum. And the right cheek's on the floor. So you're stretching now into that right shoulder. And then seeing if we can totally relax. So again, this is another passive posture where we're not engaging any muscles. Letting the weight of the body do most of the work. So a few more breaths here. Okay, and then inhale, just unthread that arm. We'll do the same thing the other side. So now threading the left arm underneath the right. Left cheek comes down, look right. And lay the weight of the body down into that left shoulder. This is a nice posture. Sometimes your arm can go a little bit dead in this if you hold it for too long. Don't make my mistakes. But just for a few more moments, I feel like you're going to be fine. Okay, and then inhale, unthread that arm, just come back into child's pose for a minute. You may even be able to come chin and chest if your hips are starting to open, your shoulders are starting to open, but only come chin and chest if it doesn't like impact your neck. So we don't want the neck to feel like we're crushing it. So we need to have quite a lot of length through the spine to get the chin and the chest down. But you can give it a go, a few more moments. And then inhale, just make your way up into all fours. Lovely, lovely. So now we're going to be doing a couple of downward dogs. We'll have a child's pose in between. We'll do a different kind of child's pose. So downward dog, fingers spread underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Now before you do anything, just make sure that your fingers are nice and spread and you're pressing down through the fingers and the palms. So a lot of the time, people claw the mat, which means they aren't pressing down through the fingers, which means all the weight is coming into the wrist and then their wrists hurt. So if there's any gaps underneath your hands, it's really important you press them down, so there's a real upward push on the mat. So fingers spread, hands about shoulder width apart, so underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, and you're coming into your first downward dog. Alright, so you can bend the knees as much as you need to. The heels do not have to be on the floor. Your heels can be down, that's fine if they come down, but it's not important. What we're trying to do is create a straight line from the hands up the arms, shooting up the spine, out the back of the hips. So your feet are hip width apart and parallel, and you're going to pedal one heel down to the floor, then the other. But make this pedaling slow, use your breath. And over time, what we're trying to do is get the weight back into the legs. So the upper body feels a little bit lighter. And then just keep your head relaxed. So we're looking back between the thighs, if anything, and there's no tension in the neck. So coming back to those hamstrings, calves, and also strengthening into the shoulders a little bit. You might be wondering why we're doing this, because it is a side stretch class and a twisty class, but we've got some cool postures to work later where we need those hamstrings to be working. So giving them a bit of a warm up here. So if you push your hip back as you take your heel down, it's going to draw a deeper stretch into the top of the hamstring right towards the glute. So you can give that a go. If you need to have a rest, you can have a rest. Alright, then from here stop pedaling, just see if you can take the thighs back a little bit more. And then exhale, come down onto your knees, and this time feet and knees together. Sink your bum down towards the heels. Take your arms either side of the body and let the shoulders relax. Okay, so if this really isn't comfortable, you can come back to the version we done before. But having the arms either side of the body just gives you a chance to wriggle the wrists. That felt a bit wristy. And it just works a sort of different set of muscles here, so stretching into the tops of the legs. Alright, and then come back up into all fours. We're going to pop straight back up into downward dog. Fingers spread underneath the shoulders, feet hip width apart. Tuck your toes, up and back. Alright, so not pedaling this time, just seeing if we can come into downward dog itself. So draw the thighs to the back of the room, tilt the hips up towards the ceiling and let that head be really floppy. Nice, slow, steady breaths. We're going to be holding this just for a count of 5, 5, 4. So this is a really good posture for your lower back too. 3, I know it feels all a bit wristy to begin with. Give it a couple months, that'll go. 2, I think. And 1, lovely, come back down. Feet, knees together, arms either side of the body. This time we're going to bring a little shoulder stretch into this posture. So squeezing your shoulder blades together, interlace your hands behind your back, and then inhale, see if you can lift your arms away from your lower back. And we're just exaggerating that stretch in the shoulders and across the chest. So still in child's pose. Every inhale, maybe seeing if you can lift the palms a little bit higher. Okay, and then as you exhale, just let those hands flop either side of the body. And then inhale, make your way up into all fours for the last downward dog we're going to do. So this one is a little bit different. We're going to see if we can bring a twist into it. So come into all fours, fingers spread underneath your shoulders. Knees underneath the hips, tuck your toes, hips up and back. Now, this might be a little bit tricky if you've got tight hamstrings, but remember you can keep those knees bent. We're going to see if we can just tiptoe the feet forward ever so slightly, so we're coming into a slightly shorter version of downward dog. And then we're going to see if we can take the left hand to the right ankle, and then we're just going to raise the head underneath the right armpit. Alright, so you're just bringing a little twist into this short downward dog. So holding it here, so we're holding the right ankle with the left hand, tucking the head underneath the right armpit, still trying to keep the weight back. You may feel a little twist in your left side. Steady breaths and few more moments here. So obviously a little bit stronger in that right arm now, working into that right shoulder. Okay, and then release. Hand back to floor. Let's do the same thing the other side. So now we're taking the right hand to the left ankle and then using that resistance there to just pull your head underneath your left armpit. Maybe feeling that little twist come into your right side, strong in the left shoulder. I've just put moisturiser on, so my hand is slipping off my ankle a little bit. Never moisturise before yoga, honestly. Right, a few more moments. And then release, bring the hand to the floor, and this time we're just going to step the feet between the hands, look forward. Then exhale, drop the head, little forward fold. And then inhale, swooping the arms up, looking up. And then exhale, arms by your side. All right, give your shoulders a shake. We're up to standing. We made it to standing. So we are going to work a couple of side stretches, and then we're going to come down to the floor and work a couple of deeper side stretches. All right, so with this side stretch, it's very simple. Just take your feet hip width apart and parallel. And something that happens a lot with this is people come into all sorts of movements like forward folds and back bends and twists. But we're imagining we're doing this side stretch against a wall. So the body is going to stay very straight and the hips are not going to twist out of line, okay? So the hips are going to stay where they are here. So feet hip width apart and parallel, hands either side of the body. As you inhale, just make yourself a little bit taller, lift. And then as you exhale, your right hand is just going to travel down that right leg. Now this left hand can do whatever you want it to do. I like to take it to my hip. I like to take the left hand to the hip. So then I can check that the hips haven't come out of out of line. And you can look forward or you can turn the head and look up towards the ceiling, all right? So standing side stretch. Every inhale finding some length, every exhale maybe the right fingertips travel down that leg. Being mindful that the body hasn't twisted, imagining we're doing this up against a wall. So quite controlled movements here. Now huge stretch obviously in the left side body. We don't want to feel too light in that left foot though, okay? So what we want to do is ground down through the left foot. We shouldn't feel like we're going to topple over to the right. Holding it here. And then you can have a rest, you can stay here. If you want a slightly deeper stretch, you're going to inhale, left arm up and over your ear, just like we've done in the seated version. And then really feel that stretch deepen right from the left hip all the way up to the left fingertips. Now avoid collapsing into the right body, so keep that right side body like a little bit strong, a little lift there. See if you can reach those left fingertips over a little bit more, keep grounding through that left foot. There's a killer coming out of this, so are you ready? As you inhale, left arm up, back down, and then just make your way back up to standing. Woo! Alright, let's change sides. So feet hip width apart and parallel. You can give your body a shake if you want. I'm not going to start dancing, but you can give it a shake. So feet hip width apart and parallel. Left hand is going to come here. You're going to inhale, lift, and you're exhaling, letting left fingertips travel down left leg. Now, imagining we're doing this up against a wall, so you can bring right hand to hip if you choose, so you're not twisting the hips. Gently looking up towards the ceiling, every inhale finding length, every exhale moving into the space we create here. So press down through the right foot. Breathe, remember to breathe. I always forget in this one. And then as you inhale, if you choose, your right arm's going to come up and over your ear. Alright, so it's quite a big side stretch. See if you can push back through the right hip, ground that foot a bit more. Make that right arm really strong. See if you can maintain some lift so we're not collapsing too much into the left side. Okay, and then inhale, right arm up, and then come up to standing. Ah, God, side stretches. Doing amazing. So quite intense, but great job. So we're going to move into a posture called Trikonasana now, which is triangle pose. So it's more important you can see my feet than the top of the head, so don't worry about me being a bit cut off up there. So Trikonasana is great for your hamstrings, it's great for your side body, and also it's a hip opener. So we'll do this together. So come to the front of the mat. Then we're going to take a step out with our right foot. The right foot is going to face 90 degrees, and the left foot is going to come in about 45. Line the right heel up with the mid-arch of the left foot, okay? Now take your arms out wide. See if you can line your wrists up with your ankles. That's about the length we want of the posture, all right? Your hips, we want to try and keep them quite square to the long side of the mat, and your legs are going to stay as straight as possible. So arms wide, this is our starting position. So take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, we're reaching to the right. This left hip is going to float forward ever so slightly. So you can reach down, take hold of the big toe, right big toe with the first two fingers and thumbs of the right hand. If you cannot get the toe, just place the hand against the shin, palms facing away. And then from here, you're going to raise your left arm and you're going to look up. So whether you've got the toe or you're placing the hand against the shin, doesn't matter, just really reach those left fingertips up and then see if you can draw your left hip back towards your left heel, all right? So we've come down and now we're trying to open across the hips. Keep pulling up into the toe if you've got the toe, and then there's a real tendency for the chest to face down, but we're trying to open the chest up to the side of the room, so there's a real lift in the upper body, and we're strengthening through the legs. So we'll hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Exhale, look down for balance, and then push yourself back up into standing, and we'll change sides. So right foot in, left foot out, 90 degrees. Check your length, check your width, and then take your arms wide again. All right, so same thing. Inhale here, then exhale, reach to the left, let this right hip float forward so you can come down, take hold of the big toe, first two fingers and thumbs, or place the hand against the shin, palms away. Wherever you are, inhale, right arm comes up, you look up, and then you're drawing the right hip back and down towards the right heel. Your chest is lifting, so we're not sinking down, and we're going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, look down. Inhale, come up, and then just step to the front of your mat. Then give your hips a wiggle. I'm having a drink. You give your hips a wiggle. So Trikonasana, there's a lot going on in that posture, but very good for you. And now we're going to try a posture, well, it's called Parsavakonasana, but it's extended side angle pose, but we're going to do it a little bit differently today. We're going to bring the side body into it. Also, this is a big one for you groin. Yes, groin and side stretches. So legs together, and then as you inhale, big step out with your right foot. Bigger this time. Right foot out 90 degrees, left foot in about 45. This time we are going to bend the right knee. So it's somewhere over that ankle, trying to get the right thigh as parallel as possible to the floor. So this is quite a deep sink down, okay? Just do your best. Keep that back foot grounded, sole of the left foot is on the floor here. Inhale, arms up, reach to the right, and then as you exhale, we're going to place the right hand on the inside of the right foot. And the left arm is going to come up straight towards the ceiling. Now, if this is too much, you can place that right hand on a block, okay, to give you a bit of height, if you have a block or a couple of books or something. Either way, we're sinking down into the right leg. Left arm lifts up, big side stretch, and you should also feel this really intense sort of stretch in your right hip, right groin. So hold it here, nice deep breaths. Okay, and then from here, look down. This bit's fun, this bit's a bit wobbly. So look down and then see if you can place your left hand where your right hand is. And then turn in the waist and raise the right hand, look up. Woo! So that right knee's still bent, but we've just come into a twist. Now it's a bit trickier to keep the back foot grounded now. If you need to, you can come up onto the ball of that foot and have the heel lifted. But if possible, let's see if we can keep that back foot, sole of the foot down. So hold it here. Okay, then look down. Right hand comes back to the floor, left hand lifts up again. And then we're just going to see if we can bring a little shoulder stretch into this, so have a rest if you need to. Otherwise, see if you can tuck your right arm underneath your right leg, okay? And then reach the left arm round, see if you can catch the fingertips. And then use that grip to open the chest and roll that left shoulder back. A few more breaths. Okay, then release the bind if you have it. Hand back to the floor, arm up. And then push yourself back up to standing. Woo, legs. All right, changing sides. So yeah, definitely a big old hip opener there. So right foot in, left foot out 90 degrees, bend the left knee so it's over the ankle, and then sink that thigh parallel to the floor. Arms wide. Inhale, stretch, and then exhale, left hand to the inside of the left foot, right arm up towards the ceiling. So have a rest at any point if you need to, okay? Otherwise, reaching right fingertips up. Grounding down through the back foot. And then look down. Now we're going to place the right hand where the left hand is and then turn in the waist, raise the left hand, look up. So again, harder to keep that back foot down, so you can pop up onto the ball of the foot if that makes it easier. But if possible, keep the sole of the foot down. Still trying to keep that deep bend in the left knee. Okay, then exhale, look down. Left hand down, right hand up. And then we'll come into this little bind. So, maybe if you're coming down low enough, you can sink the left arm down, wrap it underneath the left leg, so the hand ends up around sort of your butt. Right arm up, lift, and then see if you can reach around, take the bind. If you've got the bind, use it to pull that right shoulder open. Okay, release, left hand down, right arm up. And then push yourself back up to standing. And then come to the front of your mat. Oh, my groin. It's a big old stretch, isn't it? Well done. We're coming down now onto our butts. So come down, just make your way onto the floor. And now we're going to put everything we've worked today together into one big posture. So, all the hip opening, the groin work, and the side stretch and the twist. This is what we've been working up to. So the first thing I want to do is just go through a seated forward fold, a wide leg forward fold. So if you take your legs wide, this is just an additional bit of prep. Now you don't need to take your legs so wide that you're coming into like a straddle split, it's just wide enough to feel that stretch come into the inner groin. Your toes are going to face the ceiling, and if you fold in this posture, do not let your thighs roll inwards. The toes will want to come towards the floor, but the effort is to keep the toes facing the ceiling even if we fold forward, okay? It's going to protect your hamstrings. So sit nice and tall, toes towards the ceiling, back nice and long. Now this might be enough of a stretch here, okay? So you are more than welcome to stay here in this position, or if you want to fold forward, you inhale, lift. See if you can keep the hips externally rotating, so as you fold, your butt isn't going to lift. And then exhale, walk, walk, walk the hands, and then come down, okay? So as you come down, those feet are going to want to roll in. Do not let them roll in, keep them rolling out. Keep the toes facing the ceiling. Now you might not fold very far, that's okay, it's fine. So you can be like this, and you can have the head relaxing, and that will be your fold. But if you are coming down low enough, you can come forehead, forearms. Eventually we come chin and chest, but do not lower your chin unless you can get the chest bone on the floor first. All right, so holding it here for a few breaths, feeling that stretch in the groin, toes facing the ceiling, and then your head can relax. Okay, and then inhale, very slowly come up, 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 and then just bring your legs together and give your legs a shake. All right, we're ready. We're ready to give this a go. So this can get quite confusing, this posture, but it's okay. It's all right. So, legs wide, here we go. So we start with our legs wide. We are going to take the right foot on the inner left thigh, okay? So the right foot, the sole of the right foot is on the inner left thigh. The left leg straight, left toes face the ceiling. Now just like that seated twist we done, we're going to do it from this position. So your right hand is going to come behind the back. We're going to have the arm against the back to keep the spine long, remember? Then left arm just above the right knee, so we've already done this movement. You're going to inhale, lift, and exhale, twist. Okay, looking back over that right shoulder, using the left arm as a lever to help us rotate towards the right. So just like that seated twist we done earlier, but the legs are in a different position. Now, keep the breath steady, keep the lift through the spine, keep those left toes active, left toes face the ceiling. Okay, then exhale, come back to center. Easy, stage one. Right, so right leg straight, sole of the left foot on the inner right thigh. Same thing. Right toes face the ceiling, ground down through the right calf. Left hand's going to come behind the back, arm against spine to help support the back. Your right hand's going to come above your left knee. You're going to inhale, lift, and exhale, twist. Looking back over that right shoulder and using the right arm as a lever to help us rotate. Steady breaths up into the chest. And then exhale back to center. All right, so legs together, give your legs a shake. You can roll onto your backs, hug your knees into your chest if you like. So some people like doing this just to, you know, give the back a bit of love after these twists, but you don't have to, because we're going to pop ourselves back up anyway for step number 2. So legs wide again. All right. So just like before, we're going to take the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Okay. Left toes are going to face the ceiling. and then we're going to come into that exact same twist. So right arm behind the back, arm against the spine to support the back, left hand above the right knee, inhale, lift, exhale, twist, and then look back over that right shoulder. So exactly the same, okay, as what we just done, and this is the position you're going to stay in if it all gets a bit too much. Now, at the moment, the right hand on the floor is doing a lot of the work for us. It's helping support the spine. But what we're going to do is take that right hand away from the floor, lift it up towards the ceiling, which means your core is going to have to work super hard, and your obliques to keep the twist in the position it's in. So get as much twist as you can, really rotate that chest round, and then on your next inhale, maintain the twist and lift your right arm and look up. All right, so hopefully you should be feeling that this is a lot stronger now. Really having to work that left arm as a lever to maintain that twist. Really having to work the core muscles to keep the spine long. Hold it here, a few more breaths. And then exhale, release. Good, give your body a shake. So hopefully you felt that that was a bit different with the hand up. So trying to bring a bit more strength into it. So let's change sides. So now we're going to have the right leg straight. Left foot, inside of the left foot, inside of the right thigh. Keeping the right toes facing the ceiling. We're going to take the left hand behind the back to begin with, hand on the floor to support the back, and then right hand just above that left knee. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist. So coming into that twist first. Opening the chest up towards the left and looking back over that left shoulder. Okay, now we want to keep this position. Keep the rotation, keep the strength in the right arm, the strength in the core. As you inhale, lift your left arm and you look up. So as soon as you lift that left arm off the floor, the body wants to ping back round. Don't let it, keep that twist. Reach up through the left hand, keep those right toes active. And then exhale, release the posture. Amazing, that was stage number 2. So give your body a shake. You can come onto your backs, you can hug your knees into your chest, do whatever movements feel good. And then we're gonna have a go at stage number 3. Third and final stage. All right, so make your way back up to seated. I'm gonna show you what this looks like first. So we're gonna come through, we'll do this side. We're going to come through the same, right foot first there. We're going to come through the same process. Twist, 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 arm up. So once you've got the arm up and you're doing the twist, once we reach that stage, what we're trying to do is line the hand up with the foot, because we are going to side stretch, okay? And we're going to keep the hand on the knee. It's going to make it more challenging for us. We're going to lift. The trick is to get as much rotation as possible first, almost like we're trying to line the back up with the leg. And then we're going to side stretch. Now, we're not going to let go of the knee. We're going to side stretch from here. Now, you might come down here. You might come down a bit lower. You're going to soon feel a big stretch from your hip all the way up that side body. Now, you come down as far as you want, all right? You don't have to come down very far, but if you are coming down far, you take the outside of the foot with the hand, you pull on the knee, you pull on the foot, and you twist your chest up towards the ceiling, okay? The head tucks under the armpit and you look up. So this is like the final posture here, but that's several years on the journey to get down to the foot. So I want you to listen to your body. I don't want you to hurt yourself, so stop wherever you feel the stretch. It's intense, okay? Let's do it, legs wide. Last time, and then we're done, we can have a rest. So, to begin with, right foot, inner left thigh, left toes face the ceiling, right hand behind the back, to begin with, arm supports the spine, left arm just above the right knee. So it's the creme de la creme posture we're doing now. So inhale, lift, exhale, twist first. Get as much rotation here. Really important, that we set our foundations up properly. All right, then maintain this twist. Take the hand off the back, lift the arm up. So now right arm's up towards the ceiling. Don't let the body ping round, keep that twist. Now line the hand up with the foot. You inhale, lift, you exhale, side stretch. Now keep a hold of the right knee with the left arm. As you side stretch down, just as far as is comfortable for you, don't push it. But if you come down far enough, you take the outside of the left foot, you pull the knee, you pull the foot, and your head comes underneath your right armpit, you look up. Wherever you are is perfect on that journey. Let's hold it here for 5, 4, feel that huge stretch in the right side body. 3, 2, and 1. Very slowly make your way up. All right, they make me woozy, side stretches. Let's change sides, okay? Last time. Right leg out, left foot in. Start with the twist, no need to rush. Left hand behind the back, right arm above the left knee. You inhale, lift, you exhale, twist. Setting our foundations up properly. There's no crazy bendy postures without solid foundations, okay? So this twist is the most important part of this posture. Getting as much rotation as you can. Using the right arm against the left leg as a lever to help us rotate. And then take the attention to the core, the strength of the posture. As you inhale, raise your left arm up without losing that twist. Look up. All right, holding it here, getting as much length as you can through the left arm. You inhale, lift again, and you exhale, you start to side stretch. Stopping anywhere on that journey, we've still got hold of the left knee with the right hand. Okay, now if you're coming down far enough, be my guest, you take the outside of the right leg with the hand and you twist and you look up towards the ceiling. Now if you're not there, no worries, just hold it for 5, 4, love a side stretch, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, pop yourself back up. Give your legs a shake, come onto your backs, rub your sides, and then hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Good, 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 good. Intense posture, big old stretch, but a really sort of amazing posture actually. So just give your back a real sort of like rock here. You can make big circles or small circles. You can take the knees and make separate circles if you want to work into the hips a bit more, if your hips feel a little bit woozy after that. Okay, and then from here we are just going to come straight down. We're going to finish with one little twist, okay? I know you've had enough of twists, but just again, for our back, we're going to make it nice and gentle. We're going to finish with the posture we started with, the feet and knees on the floor. Feet and knees on the floor, feet and knees together, feet on the floor. So we're going to take this gently, arms out wide, palms down. Inhale here, then exhale, legs just flop to the right. Okay, turn and look over your left shoulder, take a couple of breaths here. Okay, then inhale back to centre and exhale, legs to left. Turn and look over the right shoulder. So you can actually, we're going to come into Shavasana after this, but if you want more of these lion twists, you can just keep repeating this process, right, left, right, left. Otherwise, inhale back to centre, and then we're going to finish how we started, just finding a lying position that you can be still in for a minute, okay? Arms a little way away from the body, palms up. Take a couple of deeper breaths. So it's quite nice to breathe in through the nose and then really sort of sigh it out through the mouth. So you can do that a couple of times. Or you can just take a couple of deeper breaths through the nose and then just let the body completely relax, so not engage in anything. We've worked really hard today, side bodies, hips and groin, so just letting the lower body and the sort of like back area, the trunk, just sink down into the floor. If your legs are straight, the feet will naturally start to fall out sideways. As the shoulders open, the palms will naturally face the ceiling a bit easier. And once you've taken your deep breaths, you can let your breath come back to normal. And then before we finish, you might want to take your attention around the body. So check in, see how you feel. How do you feel now? Do you feel any different to when you started? Do you feel a bit more stretched? What worked for you, what didn't? So we're not judging ourselves ever. We're just sort of like building an awareness and learning more about our bodies through practicing yoga. What works, what doesn't. Okay, you're more than welcome to stay in Shavasana for a bit longer, or we're going to come out of it now by gently moving fingers and toes, pointing toes down the mat, bringing the arms overhead and taking a big cat stretch. And then one last time you exhale, hug your knees into your chest and you start rocking from side to side. Make those circles which you've been doing all the way throughout. And then when you're ready, you can just pop up, make your way up to seated. Alright, so side stretches, twists, well done, amazing job. So if you didn't catch the live, and say it now, but this video's up anyway, it's going to be up in the group, so feel free to do it any time. And feel free to also join me on a Saturday where I do yoga via Zoom for lift off at 3 till 4. Alright, so have a lovely day, enjoy your Shavasana if you're still in it. I'm signing off now. Right, bye.